guys, how are you over there? Today I want to share with you something that is very important to those people who want to go into business but they believe that they don't have capital, especially this young generation. When you ask them, why are you not into business? Sometimes you are out of school, you may need something that can give you $1 a day, but they say we don't have capital. That's very true. Capital may be a very big thing that hindering them to go into business or to do something that can generate income for them. Now, as you can see, this is a road that is behind me. I'm along the industrial site. I'm going to work today by foot. Right, number one, guys, if you want to have capital but you don't have someone to lend you some money, yes, you can go into business without taking a loan. Now you may realize that you are able to travel and see your friends, you can visit your girlfriend, you can buy some gifts for your girlfriend, but you don't have money to start a business. Number one thing is to have a saving mindset. There are some of the things that you can go without and save a little money to start up a business. For example, there are those people who sometimes have some little incomes, maybe from their employment. Now they spend a lot of money going to work. For example, with transport, food, airtime. This is the money they are earning from their salary. Then they also spend the whole part of that money with the expenses related also with being employed. So you can do this thing. You can try to walk to town to work to your workplace, especially if it is a short distance. And also you can try to carry your food. I've got this bag. Maybe you can put your lunchbox there, then you go to work. During the lunchtime you go somewhere, you eat your food, you drink your water and if you've got your home prepared drinks, you can do it. When I calculated it with my wife, if we go to work using the public transport, paying $1 each, then we go $2 to town, that is transport, then $2 going back home. Then also if we buy $1 each lunch, what it means is that the total cost per day will be $6. What it means is that if we go to work for 5 days, we need $30. Now $30 per week, then which means for the whole month we need 30 times 4, which means $120 for transport and for transport and food. Meaning to say, if you are alone going to work, spending $3 a day, you are spending around $60 a month. Now, considering small towns like Chinhoyi, Karoi, the likes of Kadoma, and the other towns that I'm not well conversant with, you can travel to work by foot and sometimes make some savings, and sometimes maybe you may not be able to come back by foot, maybe during the night for the safety, but somehow you can have a saving. So the first thing that I'm appealing to you is to sometimes sacrifice some of the leisures, especially transport and buying food. And you may sometimes realize that if you cook your own food, it might be healthier and good for tasty than to buy some food in town. And also sometimes when you go to town and try to eat food from the restaurant, you may be shying to buy cheap food. It may force you to sometimes buy expensive food because of your friends. But if you have got your own lunch, you can go somewhere, you eat. But sometimes this one is not for the whole part of your life. It's just for a moment when you are trying to save some money to start your business. Right, number two, I realized that amongst the youth, there are those guys who use expensive brands when it comes to cell phones. And it's so attractive. You know, it's nice to have a good brand on cell phones. You may realize that they are using iPhones, they are using new brands, Samsung, and other very expensive mobile phones. And at the same time, they are using a lot of money when it comes to airtime, bundle, among others. But when it comes to the issue of capital, they may say we don't have money. And for sure, you may realize that their day-to-day life is poor. They lack a lot of needs and very important services in their life. And it's not only on cell phones. Some of these people also wear very expensive clothes, branded, you know, those expensive brands when it comes to clothes and other items like jewelry. And this one is not only for boys. It also goes to ladies. They put a lot of money in cosmetics, in eyeshadows, nails, putting on their good hair. It's nice, it looks very nice, but sometimes it's taking a lot of money in their life, and they are not yet financially independent. But now when we talk of capital, they say we don't have. So my appeal to those people is that sometimes to sacrifice a bit for those things in their life. You can sell your phone. Sometimes your phone costs around 1,500. It costs 800. It costs 500. You know, you're having a phone which costs over 100 US dollars, then you are failing to start a business which needs a capital of $50. That's so embarrassing, very embarrassing, because if I can tell you that when my salary couldn't buy a printer, a one printer, and leave me with something to eat at home, I made a lay-by with a supplier printer to pay half up until I completed the payment for my first printer. But guess what? The price of the printer was 40 US dollars. I had no phone at that time. When I completed the payment for the printer, I was thinking like, I need a good phone now, an Android one, because by that time I was using Kambudzi, a small phone which has got no WhatsApp. So I bought a phone for around $50. By then it was very big amount for me. When I did that, I met I met this man who was already in printing. So he told me he had a final cutter for t-shirt printing, but this was costing much higher than the price of the phone that I bought, and also I was not in the capacity to buy that one once off. So I negotiated with that man that I would pay in installments up until I complete the whole payment. He agreed. So for me to continue using that phone, without making that payment. I was seeing that this one would make me not able to pay for that cutter for a long time. So I went on to sell that phone and deposit that cutter. I went back to use that small phone. I started doing t-shirt printing without a proper phone, up until some customers put me under pressure to say, no, you need a phone, yeah, to make good communications. Now we have a business. Yeah. Then I bought that phone, realizing that it was now important for me to buy a phone. But it was after a long time getting some profit from that that printer. So I realized that the phone sometimes may be a source of capital to someone, is for example to my background, and also to some people their phones, their laptop can be also a capital on its own. If I can tell you, I used my phone to such an extent that I realized that it paid back the whole amount that I used it to buy it, and I got a profit on the phone on itself, because on this phone I used it to create marketing videos, recording videos, editing it, advertising for people, getting some payments. I used to advertise, or in fact I advertise my business, or using this phone on WhatsApp groups, on Facebook. Also I was using this phone also sometimes to create some flyers, even charging people to create for those flyers. And also this business of doing business consultants, I use this phone. I would do even register some companies using this phone, doing some Zimra registrations, tax returns, price registrations, and so forth. A number of statutory registration and returns. I used this phone a lot before I was using a desktop, and the services to those clients was so satisfactory, and people were happy. So to someone, this phone may be a capital, but to someone can be a major expense, taking a lot of money from him and leaving him or her without capital to start a business. Then also you may realize that there's this source of income, source of capital. We're having relationships with the market players. To have a good relationship with those people who are in the industry and the service providers that you want to use in your business. It may help you to go into business without any money, any resource, but the major resource that you may have is the good relationship with those people whom you want to work with. For example, you want to be a good supplier of school uniforms to schools, or not maybe just school uniforms, but you want to be a corporate supplier. So what you may need is to have a good relationship to those people who want your product. You go to companies, you go to the schools, you communicate with them, you identify yourself as a supplier. You also go to those people who produce those things. You have a good relationship with them. You agree with them what you want from their side. You make sure that sometimes when you agree that you are going to take this one on credit, you are going to pay back at this time, and you do it religiously. It may help you to supply a lot of products or a lot of goods without using your money from your pocket. Because sometimes you go, I've got this school, my brother, it wants these uniforms, but I don't have money, but I got the market. Can you please supply? Then I will write an invoice to the school so that when they make payment, they will pay me